everybody, and welcome to From My Mother's Basement, the show that celebrates being a geek. I'm Jason.
And I am Michael.
And, Michael, what have you been up to this past week? It's been kind of up and down for a lot of people.
It's been busy. Got some project I'm working on that unfortunately I still can't talk about yet.
All right.
But it's been sucking a lot of my time. And aside from that, work. And I've actually gotten caught up on some video, so we'll go over that towards the end of the thing. We're gonna have to be pretty quick on that though, because I am gonna have to go shortly after.
No worries whatsoever. The only thing I've been of interest that I was working on recently was something that I pre-ordered months ago finally came in. You guys know that I am a Weiss Schwarz fan, and I have at least.
I am so jealous of you for this.
I have several decks that I've been messing with for a while now. And it looks like just a couple days ago, the second package of Vocaloid themed cards for Weiss Schwarz for Project Diva F Second came out. So I spent part of the weekend literally just going through and
sending me pictures of all the Luca cards, you bastard.
Well, I already have, the Luca. My Luca deck has become a little bit more Miku focused because the new cards are actually fairly powerful, which are quite nice. But that being said, there's the artwork that they use on any Weiss Schwarz card, Vocaloid or otherwise, is actually really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And I was surprised that I got a bit lucky and pulled up like 4 signed cards too. So
nice.
So I was like, all right, it's a little less shiny for the sole fact that it used to be the odds of actually getting a signed card were actually fairly high. Unfortunately, they've set it up now so that almost every box gets a signed card. By signed, I mean pre-printed and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, every box gets one though.
Yeah, but I did get there's 2 sets of signed. There's always the preset signed one, and then there's another one that comes with with an extra little bit by the voice actress, and I got both of those for the voice actress of Luca. So,
you bastard.
Yeah, so I have those, and I will be wondering if I want to sell them or not, because the extra special one's like worth $50 right now or something like that.
Or you can give them as a late Christmas present to your co-host. He wouldn't tell you no.
Oh, I'm sure
I have it on good authority. That's really cool, though. I look forward to seeing the deck on the time whenever you get around to coming up and visiting.
Yes.
The other thing that happened for me this week is I just sent you a link to it. Mm-hmm. The last 2 figures that I had on pre-order that I pre-ordered back in like November, October, something like that, mm-hmm. They finally arrived. So the event staff girl showed up.
I see her, yes.
And so did my Shinon Kotobukiya figure.
Ooh, yeah.
You ordered her, right?
I did, but unfortunately, because I'll just get
job.
Yeah, because of not getting paid. Let's put it that way.
Right.
That order was canceled, so I could not pick up that one. But the other one that you picked up, is quite nice. I will admit that. Let me see if I can pull that in here for the.
She's an original character. She's not associated with any anime that I'm aware of. She may be associated with a doujin.
That's as close as you can get to a safe for work picture.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is the way they do it. I mean, she is technically a cast-off figure, mm-hmm. but they're not cast off like the way the other one I had was that I accidentally flashed the camera with last week, mm-hmm. or the other week. With her, it's literally 2 different torsos. Because the arms are in a different position and everything.
Okay.
So it's literally take off the head, pop the torso, pop the other torso on, pop the head on. The easiest cast off I've ever seen in my life.
Nice. Well,
but yeah, my event staff girl came in, and as a convention person, that what I saw that and I had to get it.
I don't think we can really blame you on that one. Well, should we get to some of the news that's been happening
yes,
the past
let us
week?
do this, because there's some weird shite going on.
Let's start off with the bad. Let's start off with the series or the project that honestly I think should just die, because the people who will be working on it I don't really trust them on it.
Well, okay, the studio that's working on it, I have a little bit of respect for because of how because they backed off of another project because they were getting way too far off the mark, and they realized it and backed off. But what bothers me about this one is not so much the studio, but the people associated with it.
What we're talking about is a long-running attempt to bring a U.S. adaptation of Robotech.
Live action Robotech.
Yeah. So
the CG will be awesome.
The CG better be awesome.
The mecha will kick ass. The acting. How far are they going to stray from the storyline? Well, I mean, whether they go with the original Macross story, or they go with the Harmony Gold version,
which if Harmony Gold has...
both of which were decent storylines. I mean, well, the Macross storyline was awesome, but the way they merged them wasn't that bad. But are they going to go Carl Masick route, or are they going to go the original route?
Well, given the fact that it's...
And are they going to whitewash it?
It's a U.S. crew working on this. One, I fully expect whitewashing. Two, I fully expect an adaptation of Carl Masick's version. Do we really need something like this?
With the right people, it could be good.
Right, but then we run into the same...
if you get Guillermo del Toro to do it.
Okay, Del Toro doing that, I think...
Get Del Toro to do it, it would be cool.
I think it would be
even the Wachowskis, cool. I think, could make this work. Okay, maybe not as much.
I was going to say, with the Wachowskis, that they are great at world building, but the problem is they get so focused and so caught up in their own ability to world build that some of the story gets completely lost. Some of the characters become very 2D.
But they're talking about bringing in Mark Canton, and Gianni Nannari, I think it's how it's pronounced, from 300 and G.I. Joe Rise... I'm sorry, they're bringing in the writer of 300 and G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. Okay, 300 was pretty good. It wasn't that hard to adapt the comic, but, I'm having visions of Max Sterling in his or Rick Hunter in his mecha just kicking as then try to going, this is Earth, or this is Macross.
See, that's the problem though. You bring someone in who has adapted comics to the big screen before, but these are comics that are designed with a crap load of blood and gore and hardcore action.
You're talking about 300? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the thing is, you go to Macross, and then of course the Harmony Gold version.
Pretty dark.
Macross was pretty dark. I'm just saying though that they're probably gonna go more toward the Robotech aspect of it,
which was still pretty dark. Dude, I hauled ass coming home from high school when this thing first aired to watch it in the afternoons. Yes, even when I was grounded. So if my dad's watching the podcast, I'm busted. But anyway. I hauled ass to watch this show, and when they killed Rick, not Rick Hunter.
Was it Rick Hunter? No,
not Rick, not Max Sterling. Fokker. When they killed Roy Fokker.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I was like, wait a minute, what? They killed a guy? What the hell? He's dead? Really? No parachuting last minute and lasers that just can't hit Jack?
I don't know. I just look at it that... Okay, I'll take it back that, yes, there were some pretty dark moments, even in the Robotech version of it. But I can already see a sterilization of that with an adaptation. I mean, we've already
Or they're going to go ultra dark with it.
If they try to go ultra dark with it, they end up with Kite, which I just saw that recently. I haven't seen the live action. I actually like it. It's fairly nice. There's some nice homages to several key elements from that.
The original Kite was pretty freaking dark.
It was, but I'm afraid that we're gonna get to the point where the end result's gonna be nothing like the fans would like to see.
Right.
I mean, we run into the same argument about the live action Ghost in the Shell movie by DreamWorks.
My big problem with that is the actress. That's my only problem.
We've gone through that before, the whole whitewashing aspect of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Do you think...
Well, I mean, the character of Rick Hunter was it was never established whether he was Caucasian or Asian.
Mm-hmm.
That part was never really clearly. I mean, their names were not Asian names.
No.
I mean, even in the non Carl Masick version, it was still Roy Fokker, Rick Hunter, uh, the Global, who was Russian.
Mm-hmm.
What was Lisa's last name?
I forget.
Lisa Hayes? No, Hayes. I think it was Hayes. Anyway, so they had a lot of non-Asian characters, so it wouldn't be that big a deal. But I'm just
my main concern, going back to some of the writing real quick, you said they're bringing Mark Hansen in, who the screenwriter for G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra and 300 was Michael Gordon. My apologies. They brought him to work on it, but he's not the first. I mean, I'm sure he's not going to be the last person taking a crack at it. And this guy, okay, I've enjoyed some of the work that he's done, but when you have some of the people that have given it a shot at this beforehand and failed, mainly Lawrence Kasdan of Empire Strikes Back and Raise a Lost Ark fame. If Kasdan couldn't crack it to make it work for a U.S. audience, that's a good indication that maybe this isn't really the right project for you to work on.
What else scares me is, okay, so Gordon was one of the people who had done it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the current one. The current one they're looking at is a horror director.
Yeah.
Andy I'm going to butcher his name. Muschietti?
Yeah, I think that's close you're going to get to it.
I mean, is Mama any good?
I never saw
I never saw it. I saw the commercials for it and was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a schlock horror, not interested.
Well,
I'm hoping.
Okay.
I'm hoping, but I'm afraid to hope at the same time.
Okay, well, we spent a lot of time on this. Let's go ahead and move forward because again, this is not even alpha development. This is like still very, very early.
It's further along than that, but not much.
We'll see. But there's another announcement coming out from Netflix that kind of surprised me. I was like, is this a joke? No, it's not April 1st.
It's not a joke.
Netflix announced that they're actually working on a live-action TV series based on the Legend of Zelda video game franchise. Where in the hell did this come from? It was the main character go, yeah, the whole time.
Hey, listen!
I mean, are we going to go back to the...
They have Navi. I'm walking away.
Oh, jeez. Someone's going to try to turn Navi into a full-fledged character with a backstory that she has daddy issues. I swear it's going to happen. But, okay.
It's Netflix, they get away with it.
Well, somewhat. The thing is, I was surprised at all for Nintendo to actually allow this to go through.
Well, and that's something I'm reading in that article talking about it, that gives me a little bit of hope, is the fact that Nintendo is so deeply involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're helicoptering this thing. They're mother henning it all the way.
Right. But
which could be good, could be bad, because over the years, the Link's adventures have gone from the bubbly, hey, this is cute and silly, and I'm going to break in and steal everything, to actually he always does that. But Majora's Mask was pretty dark.
Now,
and everything in between.
And at that point, you have a lot to explain, because the way that's always been played out, you always had the silent protagonist through 20 years of gaming.
Yeah, 20 plus years, yeah.
And all of a sudden to give him a voice, there's a lot of speculation and concern about that. Although I do have to say though, as long as they they have a scene with chickens, I'm perfect. Or
kicking the chickens, or the big hexagonal rocks that you pick up and throw.
Or if you really want to get really down there, have the ultimate fear for any Legend of Zelda fan. Have a chicken put on the Majora's Mask.
Oh, God. Although that
Game
would be really
over.
It would be really interesting to see. I mean, if they did it as a series, there's a couple storylines they could go down. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, you've got everything from the original to Wind Waker to Majora's Mask. But I would love to see even an anime of the whole Midna story.
That I wouldn't mind actually
because that
seeing
was
if they
like,
flesh that out.
and that's classic Japanese. I mean, it's depressing as hell until the very end.
Oh, of course it is. As far as like style, I'm fully expecting if this goes forward a Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings vibe to it, because
That's what they. That's what they're talking about. They're comparing it to Game of Thrones, and I'm like, oh, really? Zelda and Game of Thrones? So
okay.
are Link and Zelda secretly related?
Oh man.
And
What
who's
is?
the Tyrion Lannister in that mix?
Yeah.
Although
The head of the
Navi could be
chickens.
Hodor. Hey, listen.
Oh, that's so horrible. It
Because
just
that's all
might
he ever
work.
says is, "Hey, listen."
Yeah.
So he's the equivalent of Hodor.
I mean, they could always go around, like Sega fan in the chat reminded me, they did have the animated series back in the day.
Yeah,
And
but it only lasted one season before Nintendo shut it down.
and for good reason.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It was kind of scary.
I mean, maybe they go along the lines of something that ties into the new game, and maybe use some of the
Which is
assets
coming out like
from the
next
game.
month or next week.
So, is it really that soon? That could be.
The new XL comes out next week.
Oh, the that's right. Yeah.
The new 3DS XL comes
Which
out
comes
next
with a
week.
3D version of Majora's Mask. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kind of want that, but
yeah, you and me both.
between Netflix announcing Legend of Zelda and people
Majora's
in
Mask is actually going to make me buy an XL. That's finally going to make me buy a
it's gonna get to
3DS
that
X or 3DX is that.
But actually would want to see what Nintendo and Netflix do with the Legend of Zelda series, more so than what anybody in Hollywood could try to think of with Robotech.
Well, that coupled and given, I mean, they're obviously not going to bring in the writers for House of Cards, but the fact that because they're not beholden to broadcast standards.
Very true.
They are the only people they're beholden to is Nintendo. So they can get away with crap that they couldn't get away with on regular TV.
Yeah.
Because they're not TV technically.
Very true.
So that one I actually hold a little bit of hope for, although I'll have a more or less hope after Daredevil launches.
Which is in what, April or late March?
Yeah, it's like less than a month or so away. Have you seen the new outfit they're doing for him?
I have seen the new outfit. And
I actually kind of like it.
I'm okay with it. I think it works out well for
I mean, if
what
you're
they're
going to
going
adapt it,
for.
that's the way you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, rather than the red leather fetish look.
Which I'm sure there'll be several jokes about that sometime later on.
And I'm sure it may show up at some point.
I'm sure it will, given the fact that this is only first of 4 series that Netflix has to deal with Marvel. So
I am so looking forward to Iron Fist. God, I'm looking forward to Iron Fist. It's going to be so awesome.
Yes. So, but yeah, Legend of Zelda, I think it has a vast array of story and lore that they could easily tap into.
Oh yeah, 20 years worth of stuff, but we're not going to see anything from it for at least a year or two.
Yeah.
It's literally in talks at this point. It's not actually. They haven't announced any cast yet. They haven't announced anything beyond the hey, we're doing it, and Nintendo's being mum about it,
which is the right thing to do in this type of situation.
Yeah.
Speaking of video games, it is no surprise to anyone. It's been going on for many, many years and actually decades now. That if you have a popular enough video game or anime series, there's a good chance it's going to get at least a retail store in Japan, if not a themed cafe.
Yeah, but this one's so freaking cool.
It is very cool.
When next I go to Japan, and at some point in my life I am going to this place.
What we're talking about is the Final Fantasy Cafe.
Final Fantasy XIV Cafe specifically.
Yes.
It's Eorzea. And it's done by a group called Pasella, who does... Pasella is a, for lack of a better term, a chain of themed restaurants / karaoke bars / stuff. And they partnered with Square Enix to do the Eorzea. And as you can see, I mean, you got replicas of all the weapons on the walls, the various standards for the countries, and scroll forward because I'm waiting for the one picture that I know you're going to show. That one. The Moogles are there. So come on. I mean, who doesn't love Moogles? Including the Postmaster Moogle, which is awesome.
Can you send
and it also looks like they have terminals up that you can log into your characters.
Yes.
I'm not sure what's up with that, if you just pay to play or if you can bring them up and you get something in game. I don't know what's up with that.
I'm sure there's probably some sort of bonus for signing or logging in from this cafe.
It's entirely possible. And if I ever get lucky enough to go back to Japan and it still happens to be open at that time, whenever that may be, I'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, the few cafes that I was lucky enough to go to in Japan, tons of fun. Something that you would never get that same experience here in the States.
Right.
But
the one...
Go
Sorry, go ahead.
But that being said, some of these ones are so intricately detailed. Everything from the weapons on the walls to the design of the food and drinks to the outfits that the waitresses wear. I mean, it is impressive how thorough they are when they create something like this.
Well, and I think the reason they got this thorough with this one was because it was Pasella that was partnered with Square for this. Because I've been to the Gundam Cafe. You've been to the Gundam Cafe.
Yes, I have.
It's nice. It's kind of neat, but they didn't put a lot of effort into it. Let's be honest.
No, they really did not.
They could have put so much more effort into it.
So much more, but
the few Ava-themed restaurants I've seen, I've only been in one. It was good, but it wasn't that level of good. I mean, the Eorzea one, the level of detail and the extent to which they went is light years beyond. It set a new bar. And I'd love to see others match that bar.
Yeah, I would love to see more.
You're on notice, Blizz. Make one of those in California.
You know they could so easily.
They basically did for the I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice the stage they were using for the Hearthstone Championships?
I noticed it was very nicely designed.
It was basically one of the inns from WoW.
Huh.
Complete with the music and everything.
We know they could do it. So.
Oh yeah, they've got the money. They have the power.
I want to move back to TV news for a moment.
Sure.
These weren't in the notes, Michael, but I did want to add them too. I think you actually appreciate them. It seems that a couple stations want to revive some old school series. Let's focus on just one right now. From ABC, they actually made the announcement that they are going to revive BattleBots. It is about damn time.
I'm of mixed opinions on this.
You think they're going to mess it up?
I think they're going to tone it down.
Which is sad.
The original BattleBots, well, it was all mostly staged anyway.
Oh, of course, yes.
You're limited in what you can do because you can't have anything that blows up. You can't use fire. You can't go, hardcore with it.
Which is
sad.
But
there was still some pretty intense stuff.
Come on, Blendo got rid of everything that came after it.
Blendo, there was the one that had the giant mallet. I forget which one that was. The only problem I have, and that I'm afraid they're going to do, is they're going to tone it down and make it too cartoony. That being said, this has potential to be freaking awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, and the reason why everybody, Michael and I first brought up Blendo, because that was created by now known as the Mythbusters. So.
Yes.
Now would be great if they couldn't get the Mythbusters on here, maybe get the ones that are no longer on the show, because Grant Imahara actually had a very successful bot on BattleBots.
Grant had a couple of them.
Hell, bring back Bill Nye. That'd be great.
Well, I mean, Grant builds robots. I mean, he made Jeff for Craig Ferguson's show. So I mean, Grant knows his. He used to work at ILM building robots there. So I mean, he knows what he's doing.
So we'll have to see what happens with this, though. I mean, this is early announcement. They're aiming for fairly quick turnaround. We're talking summer 2015, so a few months away. They can put this all together. Now that
they'd have to start production like next month,
right? And they would have to make an announcement to interested parties to actually create robots
Which, yeah, well,
fairly
if they're
soon.
announcing it, they may already have a bunch of it in the bag.
Yeah, very true.
Because that's how a lot of these people work.
Why haven't we heard about it already?
Yeah, really. Why hasn't somebody leaked it?
Yeah, I know. Well, I get invitation tickets to tapings of other shows and whatnot. It's free. A lot of people do it, and I was kind of pissed because this never showed up on my radar. Because it'd be like battle robots themed event for upcoming show. I'd be like, that sounds like BattleBots. I'm gonna go to this thing.
So, well, there was BattleBots and there was that other one. What was the other one that was out? There was
the where they actually had the walking robots and
the one that was hosted by the guy from Red Dwarf.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember it either, but it was like that, and it was that one was vicious.
Mm-hmm.
Those bots, I mean, saw blades flying. I mean, that was some awesome stuff.
So, but yeah, ABC is bringing back BattleBots. I'm incredibly happy for that.
I think it has potential to be very cool.
It does. Another show that's actually on air right now, but it's actually going to be moved or possibly moved to another channel, another station. I'm talking about Constantine.
They're going to move it?
NBC is in possible talks of actually moving the series over to Sci-Fi, which NBC Universal owns, and renaming it Hellblazer.
I'd heard they were going to talk about changing the name, but that's kind of like I mean, they're either doing it for one or two reasons. One, some executive wants to try and kill it, or two, some executive wants to use it to try and resurrect Sci-Fi, because Sci-Fi's gone downhill.
Sci-Fi has gone downhill.
Defiance was good, but I mean,
plus the thing is
Warehouse 13's gone, Eureka's gone.
Yeah.
Stupid bug. There's not a lot on Sci-Fi right now that's any good series-wise.
Sure, and I think this could be a beneficial move for the sole fact that NBC's already come out numerous times stating, all right, the viewer numbers aren't as high as we would like, but they're not so low that we can just cancel it outright. So let's think of other options out there.
Well, I mean, there is a possibility that it may actually boost its audience because there are going to be people who watch Sci-Fi who don't watch regular TV.
That's true. Not to mention, it's a cable channel, which means you can get away with a lot more, which means they can get even closer to the darkness of the comics.
And they have so pushed the envelope on this one as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
some of the stuff they did in this show was like, really? Oh my God, you got away with that on network TV? Holy crap.
I mean, they had even problems with Constantine smoking, and they went from in development of John Constantine no longer smokes, or they don't show him smoking on air, to a scene very recently of him lighting a smoke in a church with one of its candles. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I got to give the film, the actual team that makes the show, I got to give them credit for doing that. But
yeah. So I think hopefully it could be a nice boost, and it'll almost guarantee, or at least give it at least another season.
Yeah, I'd like to see it go further. But I just don't want it to go to Sci-Fi and then die. You know what I mean? Keep good writers, let it have a good budget, and you've got potential.
I mean, they've already shut down production. They've finished their 13 episode list. The last episode of season 1 airs, I believe, Friday the 13th.
Nice.
So that's
this Friday. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm only 2 episodes behind on it.
So we'll see what they say between now and then. If it's going to be renewed for another season on NBC, or if it's going to be moved over to Sci-Fi. So.
Well, I hope they continue it, because I mean, even if they move it to Sci-Fi, because they're what they're doing in Sci-Fi. Sorry, something distracted me in the chat channel. Even going to Sci-Fi, I was going somewhere with that. I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought.
No worries. I think it could be a good thing.
They have to explore. I mean, they've hinted at Zed's backstory.
Yes.
And they've started. I mean, now, okay, I left off where the end of the hiatus cliffhanger was. So I saw how he got himself out of that.
Okay, so you're not current then.
I'm not current.
Okay, then I'm going to shut up about it then.
I'm up to I know how he got his ass out of Mexico.
Okay.
which I was just shocked as hell they went there on a lot of it. I mean, the fact of how he did it and what he did, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But some of the other stuff they did in that episode, I'm like, really? Wow, NBC, you grew a pair. You know?
Yeah, there was a lot of like.
That's the type of thing you might see on Fox back in the day before they got emasculated.
And yet the pencil pushers up the top are like, we don't know if it's going to be a good series to back. I'm like, really? You're letting it do all of this and it's still on the air? I think you should let it keep on going.
Yeah, let it keep going, guys. Don't be idiots.
Yeah. Speaking of questionable stuff, out of all the places to announce a new comic book,
yeah, what the hell? What the hell? And I think we figured it out.
Okay.
Nikki and I were talking about it, and we think we figured it out.
Go for it. Explain it.
So earlier this week, Marvel decides they're going to make an announcement, just like they did when they announced Thor, that Thor was going to be a woman. They decided, hey, let's go. We've got another female-oriented thing. Let's take it to The View.
Yeah.
What are they announcing? Well, they announced that the next main team of the Avengers is going to be all women. Hot damn, that's cool, because there are some fantastic female characters in the Marvel universe. I think that's great that they're gonna run the Avengers for a while. I think it's kind of dumb that the girls are gonna do the Rosie the Riveter thing while the guys are off fighting the Secret Wars. I think that's kind of lame, but
well, they're pulled into it as well. So
they're gonna be pulled into it to an extent, but it's I'm liking the implication that She-Hulk's the boss, though.
Yeah, just that whole pose. I'm like, is she actually controlling this? Awesome.
Well, she's a lawyer. She's got the brains.
Yeah, that's true.
But they went on The View for a couple of reasons. Nikki and I were talking about this, and it's by going on The View, they go to the grandmas. The grandmas watch The View. The grandmas call their kids going, hey, son, or, hey, sweetie, guess what I just found out about this show? You like these comics, right? That type of scenario. Because her grandmother does it to her all the time. Something comes on. I was watching, Dr. Oz and blah, 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 blah. These are the same people that watch The View.
Yeah.
And I think it's an attempt to expand their audience. But really? I think it's an attention grabber more than anything else, and it also because Disney owns Marvel, Disney owns ABC, The View's on ABC.
Yeah.
So it's got a straight line in that. But
so
the announcement was cool. Where they announced it was really
yeah. I do like the fact that not only are you going to have a lot of these great characters.
Oh yeah, I mean, just looking at that poster, that's like a who's who of female characters from Marvel.
But you also notice there's a very prominent character in there, just to the right, She-Hulk's left. It's all dark and.
Talking about Phoenix?
No. Basically,
She-Hulk's left.
Well, to She-Hulk's left, to her view left, so
yeah.
our right, yeah.
I don't recognize that character.
Is a brand new character. Was one of the stipulations about them actually working on this comics. They had to create a brand new character. She's called the Singularity.
Uh-oh.
Now, what the things with Singularity is that Singularity is not really.
That looks like a kid.
A she. We're calling it a she for right now for just to explain it. What happened at this point is that a dimension, like a whole universe, literally gained sentience and decided to start exploring the other universes, the other dimensions. And when it came to this universe for the whole issue with the A-Force and Secret Wars, the universe decided to take on a female form. So essentially she's genderless, but wants to...
boy.
Yeah. So he wants to explore the gender issues of humanity with mutants while being a sentient universe.
Okay. Oh, dude, pass the joint this way. That's all I gotta say. That must have been some seriously good shit they were smoking.
Yeah. What is she a character? Well, she's not really a she. What is she? A universe.
Thing is, there was an episode of, and this is we're gonna stretch way back. There was an episode of Space 1999 that did something like that, where they went through this whole thing, and it's literally the galaxy, if you will, this weird thing
Mm-hmm.
that is sentient. It just thinks a lot. Its day is, our millennia.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll take a millennia to have a thought because it's processing all this stuff. But it's wow. I'm curious where it's going to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Though there have been some really cool comics coming out lately. So.
Oh, good. Well, I guess it ties into Michael. What have you been watching / reading?
Slash reading. I just picked up a title yesterday. Yesterday was the 3rd anniversary at Hypno Comics.
Nice.
So they were doing a big thing there. They had I don't remember his last name. God shoot me. Bob something. He's one of the classic writers of draw artists for Iron Man.
Oh, wow.
So they had him there. They had one of the My Little Pony artists there, and another guy who I don't recognize. But they had him there for signings and them there for signings. But while I was there, I picked up a comic called Lady Mechanica, which unfortunately it's in the other room. I'll show it next week.
Okay.
It's a steampunk title that apparently they've tried, from what I understand, from what Nikki was telling me, they've tried to get this one off the ground before, and it just hasn't had legs. They're doing a reboot basically to try and bring it back. The artwork in this magazine in this comic is beautiful. It is some of the best art I've seen in a comic in years.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read that when I come up.
And it's steampunk.
Oh, even better.
Oh, yeah. The story's kind of hackneyed. The main protagonist is Lady Mechanica, who is basically a cyborg in a steampunk world. How much of hers is mechanical, I don't know. At least her arms are, from like here down, at least.
Okay.
But that's the first issue just came out. It was issues. It was basically 0 and 1 rolled into one. Then they've got, I want to say next week they're coming out with 2 and 3, and then 4 they're going to start the new monthlies. It's, even if the story turns out to be absolutely lame, I will pick this one up for the art. It's that pretty.
That's actually high praise. I like that.
It's really, oh my God, the character ideas in here are nice.
All right.
And it's a good read. As far as what I've been watching, like I said, I've had that new project that's been keeping me real busy, so I haven't been watching a lot, but okay. I am current on a couple series. Current on Star Wars Rebels. They introduced Tarkin this week. Yes, Grand Moff Tarkin showed up.
Okay.
And you actually get an example of how much of a bastard he is, of what he's willing to do.
All right. Okay.
So I'm current on that.
Mm-hmm.
You edited my line because there was something else I put in there.
I did what?
I'm also current on Agent Carter.
Ah, yes, Agent Carter.
What's with the neighbor?
So that's going to tie into
Leviathan. I know it's part of Leviathan, but
right, which is all essentially it's the same spy training camp as Natasha Romanoff.
Wait, what? This is the same group that ends up training Black Widow? Oh my God! Well, it's like the thing that threw me when they first introduced her, that she was this Billy Badass. That I'm not. This isn't Peggy Carter we're talking about. We're talking about another character that does this thing, and I'm watching it going. We're watching this whole 1950s era. They're fighting, but they're 1950s fighting. They're not doing all this high end parkour martial arts crap until this character walks on the scene and does this bouncy thing off a hall, and I'm going, that is not 1950s martial arts.
Not at all.
I was just like, holy shit, what the hell? So that kind of threw me. But it's good. I mean, there's only a couple episodes left because they only have 8 episodes, as we've said a couple times. This was episode 6. So they've got 2 episodes to wrap it up. But they brought back the 107th.
Which I was really happy to see.
I was so jazzed to see that. I was like, yes, and it's the actual actors. So that made me real happy. Let's see. The other one I'm current on is Blacklist. And just like I put in the notes, OMFG Blacklist.
That good,
I
huh?
know you're not watching it, and you're a fool. You really need to watch this show. I am not kidding. You
Well,
need
like
to
I
go
said-
back. You need to marathon season 1, and then you need to marathon season 2 up to current, because
All right.
holy crap. They brought in Ron Perlman and killed him in 2 episodes.
Aw.
Oh no, he deserved to die.
Oh, okay.
Killing him was a good thing.
All right.
But no, you did, dude.
I just
told you
recently.
this before, but you really need to watch this series.
I know. Well, I recently, like I said, marathoned, 6 seasons of Parks and Rec in a week.
Oh God.
So now I'm current on that. So now I need to get another.
Well,
series
season
to
1 of
marathon.
Blacklist is on Netflix, so you can see it without commercials.
Perfect.
Season 2 is on Hulu.
Okay.
Oh, another one. I finally started. God, so messed up. I finally started watching Archer season 3. Or no, was it season 3 or season 4? What's the one where they go to the space station?
I want to say 4. Yeah, I think it was 4.
Okay.
Because
That's where I'm at. They just got back from the space station.
Okay, yeah. So they did 4.
What the hell?
You need to catch up because season 5 was Archer Vice. So.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the logo.
And then now that it's back, they're back to what they did before. So it actually works out really well.
Except they changed their name. They're no longer ISIS. I mean, they didn't as of where I'm at, but at some point they changed their name.
They never changed the name. They just became nameless. They're agents of the CIA now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So because of the whole thing, ISIS and ISIL and yeah.
So what have you been watching, Jason?
Honestly, the only thing I've really been watching this week has been Top Gear. It's now back for another season.
American or British?
British.
Okay.
And apparently, I know it's been back for a few weeks, and I decided to just marathon what's available, like the first 3 episodes right now. Mm-hmm. They also had the Patagonia special, which was a 2-parter, which was quite nice, fairly hilarious. Mm-hmm. Apparently, sometime this season, there's going to be a battle between the UK host and the American host, and I was like, wait.
Okay, I want to see.
Top Gear USA is still around? I thought it died.
No, it actually, they've done some amusing stuff, and they have their core audience, usually, mostly American petrol heads, but...
Yeah. Between that and Agent Carter, I haven't really done much. A lot of just work, projects around the house, and of course, like I said, over the weekend has been mostly just Vocaloid stuff for Weiss Schwartz. And the thing is that now they have all these new decks. I have this new design, and I want to play people. But the problem is, there's there's literally no store in all of Orange County that actually sells them or hosts any tournaments. When I want to play, I have to go all the way to like Temple City.
I think you need to drive your ass up to Ventura.
Is Card Attack back or?
No, Card Attack's not back, but they still have card game days.
Oh, they do? Okay.
And there are still tournaments that happen.
Okay. Well, that is an option as well, I guess. I mean, I'm already driving from work all the way down in Irvine up to Temple City during rush hour, so I guess an extra hour wouldn't be bad.
Extend the masochism. Go for it.
So, but that's basically just been I'm up to, so... Also, I do have to make the mention of it. There is a new episode of Anabreak that I actually have recorded. I just need to edit it and post it. So I know it's been a bit of an extended break for that, so that's coming back in the very near future.
And we did do the Random Acts of Gaming last week.
Yes.
And that was actually kind of pretty fun. And we only had a couple viewers, but that's okay. I'm still going to do it. I'm going to be doing it more often. But now that I've got the software installed and behaving properly, and now I've got that background from you, I just need to figure out how to make that chat box go in there.
Which I can help you out with that.
Yeah, we'll have to work that out. But, so yeah, I'll be doing more of that.
Very nice. Well, I think that's going to be it for this episode. We've been over a hell of a lot in a short amount of time, so.
Yeah, we did. We still didn't talk about Grim Fandango.
Well, I was going to get it this past week, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to. So once I'm able to pick that up, then we can. So
okay, fair enough.
Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Stay tuned for a short post show. But yeah, from Mother's Basement, I am Jason,
and I am Michael,
and we will see you guys either next week or the week after. Take it easy, everybody.